So next we have our very special interview with a very special guest today, y'all. We have Shaquille Roberts in the building, who is a Chicago-based filmmaker, writer, and director. Look, Gary is our filmmaker, so he's very excited. We're all excited. Yeah. Recognized for her Tubi series, The Other Wife, and The Lucky Number 7. Growing up in Chicago's Inglewood neighborhood, I already knew it was coming. She found an early solace in writing at True Star Media, which were right here at our Bronzeville headquarters, right here in Chicago, by contributing to the journalism program and the MASH. Okay. She pursued filmmaking at the Illinois Institute of Arts and went on to produce her own films, like we said, The Lucky Number 7, and she has gained national, worldwide, might we say, attention on her show, The Other Wife, which has gained over 21 million views. Let's give it up for that. We're so excited to have her on the set of From the Go. Welcome to the set. Yes.
We got another Inglewood.
Yes. How you feeling today? How you feeling?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. You guys are amazing.
You're welcome, man. Thanks for being on the show, man. It's just man, filmmaking is so important to me. You don't understand. This is my favorite episode, y'all. I ain't gonna lie, for a long time. So, go ahead, Sully. I know you got the first question, man. I'm over here getting excited.
Yes. I wanted to ask you about growing up in Inglewood and starting here at True Star. So, what was it that initially attracted you to writing, out of all things you could have gotten into?
I've always been like a writer, especially being in Inglewood. We were characters. Like, we were the baby kids on the block. Everybody knew our family. Yeah. And so it was a ton of material there for me to write. So I used to write a lot of, like, I went to Hyde Park.
Shout out Hyde Park.
So I used to write a lot about, like, my classes, and I would give, like, each of my classmates, like, personalities, and, like, I would write scripts around them, and everybody just kind of loved it. And then coming into True Star, this is kind of nostalgic for me. Coming into True Star, I really I knew that I could write, you know, but True Star really showed me that people care about you, right? You know, like, people care about what you got to say. So I feel like that really pushed me further to get into writing, because at first I was just like doing stuff, you know. I didn't know that it was really something until I got to True Star.
Yeah,
that's fire, man. Honestly, I think we're gonna be twins the whole episode, man. I think we're gonna be twins the whole episode. You know what I'm saying? Because I got my start writing too. I was writing articles about just like movies and TV shows, and it got to a point where they were just sending me to premieres, and I was writing about that. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely feel that. You know what I'm saying? Finding your voice and stuff like that.
Yes,
I definitely love that. So I got a question. You know, so you've always been a writer. You've been writing your whole life. So tell me, can you describe your writing process, like script writing? I want to know about script writing more than anything else. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead. Can you just describe that process?
Yeah, my writing process, I just really got a process. At first, I was kind of just doing a lot of stuff, or like, you know, just kind of like brainstorming and just like putting it all on the paper. But now I have, especially with scripts, I have a whole process before I even get to writing. So I have to make an entire world. So I have to create the world and like see the world before I start writing. So I would like compile a bunch of photos of like who I would want to play this character, and it'll be like Taraji P. Henson. You know, like I would get real creative with like creating the world. This is what the house looks like. This is how they dress. And then when I create the whole world, it kind of helps me visualize what they see, what do they see, what do they say, how do they dress, how do they interact with each other. So I create the whole world, I put it all in a pitch document, and then I start to brainstorm scenes and like my beat sheet and like what I actually want to happen in it. But it all starts from me creating my own visuals first.
Okay. Can you explain what a beat sheet is? You said that, so I just wanted to, you know.
We know what a beat sheet is.
I'm like, we are not in the world of film.
Yes. So essentially, I pretty much do it as like my brainstorming. So I pretty much write down every scene or everything that's going to happen before I start to like write a script. So essentially it's like scene by scene, each scene, this is what it looks like. Before we get to like dialogue and like where does this take place? It's just really like a rough outline.
Because you know that's the fun part. You know what I'm saying? Writing the script is the fun part. But all of that work beforehand, you know what I'm saying? Plotting it out, beat sheet, whatever it looks like for you. It's that like document will help you a lot. It's just really just plug and play at that point. You plug it in, then you just fill in the blanks. You know what I'm saying? It's great. It's fun, man.
Yes. It definitely creates like a roadmap. You know, because you don't really know where you're going when you're writing a script. But having that beat sheet is like, oh yeah, I want this to happen in the middle. Oh yeah, and I said this. And you can always go and put and like edit that sheet, and you can always like add to it if you think of something else. But essentially, it's like a roadmap before you start writing.
Perfect.
Great. All right, so I know you got a pink production studio. I heard about it. Tell me about starting that production studio in the business of film, because that's the part I really don't know. I can make a movie, you know what I'm saying? I can write, you know what I'm saying? I've directed before, you know what I'm saying? But tell me about the business.
The business of film, it took me a while to like really get there, especially like going to school. We're very creative, right? And so like they taught us how to make movies, and so like you get out of school and you're like, I know how to make movies. And then nobody talks to you about like the actual business side of like marketing your film and distribution and like all of the different parts and sales agents and all of So we're like, I'm so glad that you brought that up, because we can be so creative as filmmakers, but like essentially like we need to make some money. Like nobody wants to you know, make a bunch of films or do a bunch of stuff and like not have the budget or even have the money. So on the flip side of it, after I went to school and I came out of school and I was just applying to a bunch of jobs. Like I was applying to NBC and like all these different jobs, and like I was just not getting anywhere. And me being passionate about film, like I want to continue to create. So that's what made me establish my own company. I was tired of companies or waiting for an answer, you know, waiting months and months, because even if you don't get the job, like it takes months for them, if they even tell you, like, you ain't get the job. You know? So for me, I was like, man, I want to continue to create. And I just got so tired of waiting for an answer. And so that's when I essentially, like, created my first short film out of college, and that was Let Go. And that was essentially me, like, renting out an Airbnb, like, getting a bunch of people from school that I know, and then just like 2 days in an Airbnb shooting this entire thing.
Wow. That's the grind. That's the
grind. That's the grind.
Yes. Take me. You should bring me, man. Bring me, man.
Yeah, I want to ask about that part though, because a lot of times when you have gifts and you have these talents and you know that that's your purpose and that's what you want to do in your life, it's going to take a while to monetize it, like you said. And like you said, you're applying to jobs, you're going through this process, and there's this part that they call, when you first have a dream, right? You're like at the top of the mountain and you see your vision, right? And then like you go into the valley, which is the work and like everything it takes, and then you eventually get back up. But how did you stay motivated while you were in that valley of waiting for things to come to fruition?
You know, essentially, I didn't stay motivated at first. I will say that film is something that chases me.
Okay.
You know,
I love that.
I honestly got to the point where I was like, I'm done with this. Like, I'm tired of like not being seen or not being heard, or like putting in all this work and like not seeing the results that I wanted to see. And so I like went to go get my corporate job, you know,
That's
work
what I was about to ask.
and do
corporate.
my thing. But also like it's something that like never leaves me, you know. And so I really, as me being a Christian, like I prayed about it, but I would just go on about my day. Like I pray about it and then I just go on about my day. And I would tell people like, I'm done with film. Like, stop talking to me about film. Stop sending me stuff about film, because I was just really in that place where I was just like, I'm done. This is, you know, I'm exhausted. And then just recently I quit my job.
Shout out to you.
Yeah, you were doing both. Like,
yes, I was doing both.
Gosh.
Yes.
How did you sleep?
Yeah, I didn't. And when I was younger, I was able to like navigate it. But like as I got older and like really, I was just like, I can't do both. I was like, I really can't do both. And I prayed to God about it. And I was like, I cannot do both. And I got to work and I like literally could not breathe.
Oh my
Like
gosh.
I was in my corporate job. I was like, I cannot breathe. I feel stifled. I'm overwhelmed. Like I can't do this anymore. And I was just like, hey, this is my last day.
Yeah.
Like I just can't do it. You know, I can't do both. And I guess the choice was made for me. Like if you can't do both, like this ain't it.
Listen to your body.
Exactly. Yeah. And so I quit. But it is like staying motivated. Just knowing that like it's not going to look the same every time. You're not always going to feel like doing it. You're not always going to like, you know, but it's something that you love. And I feel like I have a lot of stories to tell and they won't let me not tell them.
Yeah.
So for me, like doing justice to the gift that God gave me and also to the stories that just are begging to be told is what keeps me motivated.
Wow.
But me, just my love for film alone sometimes it wavers, sometimes it fails. And so like I don't always, draw on like, oh, I love film. Because it's like I love film and a lot of times like I hate it too. It's a lot,
Yeah.
Right.
And that's something that and we all need to hear that too, because we live in like the instant gratification generation. Yes. And that's something that I struggle with like personally, because we expect to see results instantly. And we need to know that you gotta wait it out. Sometimes you won't feel like doing it, but you just gotta go after it.
Yes. Them long like set hours, like that's enough. That's enough to be like,
man. Yes.
All right. So talk to me about having your work on Tubi, because that's my next step. I need to get on Tubi, man. I'm gonna take over Tubi. That's stake my flag in the ground. You know what I'm saying?
Being on Tubi is it's so amazing. Just the journey of it. So essentially my show, The Other Wife, I shot it as a pilot. So I shot it as like a proof of concept that I was going to go and like shop it around to these different networks and like see who wants it. So that's why we shot that first episode. And then when it was so tough to get in the room, like people wanted, like it's so hard to get in the room. I did what I did the first time I made a film. I was like, I'm tired of waiting for people to see how good this is. I'm tired of trying to convince people. And so then I went the film festival route. But essentially, like the film festivals wouldn't accept it because it's a pilot. So it's not a short film. It won't work as that because there's not a beginning, middle, and end. We're just really at the beginning because it's a pilot. Right. And so I got like so many rejections from film festivals. And then that's when I got discouraged. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to just try to like self-distribute it myself. And so I cut the pilot up into 3 mini episodes. And I was like, you know what? Let me see how this self-distribution works. And it's so crazy that Tubi picked it up because Tubi requires, don't tell them this, but Tubi requires you to have like 20 minutes or longer. Same thing with Amazon. Like your episodes need to be 20-minute episodes or longer. And ours were like 13 minutes. So I was so shocked to get the news that like Tubi picked it up because I was like,
that's favor.
I didn't even know we wrote that, but okay.
Favor.
So that's kind of like how that went. But like essentially like me being like, I'm tired of this. And it really did challenge me to know that like there's not one way to do things. There is not one way to do things. It's like, okay, I can't get in the room. Okay, film festivals. Like, let me see what and that's what works for me. But like, there's not one way to do this, and there's no perfect way to do it.
Yeah,
that's man. I need to do exactly that.
I love that.
You're tired of waiting. Shoot.
Yeah, and like it's really about creating your own room too, because we were talking before you got here about Beyonce on a Cowboy Carter tour and how she's created space for herself in the country genre, and I just love that she's taken up space, and something that she said at the concert yesterday was like, don't ever let anybody tell you who you are. Like, you define who you are. And so, like, I'm just wondering your challenges around, like, being a Black woman filmmaker, because Beyonce crew be trying to, like, push back at her. They are her employees. So, like, how are you, like, navigating that and getting people to, like, respect you and command that as a Black woman, you know?
Yeah, you know, that's really tough. It really is tough, especially in this industry, because, like, you are treated differently. And honestly, like, your stories and the stories that you want to tell, like, they are treated differently. To be honest, like, I feel like when I'm in the room, I have to be like, yeah, well, we streaming, you know, for people to feel some type of like, oh, let me see what it's about. Because if you just say like, hey, I have this show, this is what, like, people don't really care. Versus like some other counterparts where I've seen where they're just like, yeah, I'm doing this thing like on the middle of a hill in the middle of nowhere. People are like, that's so great, you know, like, so I've seen where like I've had to like overcompensate or like really like push my way into some spaces, because being a Black woman, like, yeah, people do look at your stories differently, you know, and even like wanting to have like an all Black cast or like mostly Black cast, and like they look a certain way, they talk a certain way, you know. And so like for me, I struggle with that because you know, I just felt so different, and I struggled because I was like, well, maybe I should like start to change, you know, my stories. Maybe I should try to like, you know, try to fit in the mold and like try to like change the language and the people that I cast. Like maybe I should. But, you know, in me staying true to these stories and knowing that these stories want to be told, and me doing justice to the story, I couldn't just mold into what. And so I have to like stand firm, which is very, very hard. But I had to stand firm on my vision, and I had to trust myself enough to know that like I know what's best for my story. So like even if people don't see it and people don't understand it, or people not listening, like I know what's best. This is how why I got this far, is because like I spend the time with these stories to get them told. Right. So like you can't come in and be like, well, I think this will be better. No, you haven't spent the amount of time and invested the amount that I have to tell me what needs to be done. You're also not paying for it.
Okay. Come down
so
to them
we're gonna
dollars.
Do what I said.
Right. Exactly.
Having to change and tweak your story is like, it's a cardinal sin. Like I hate to do it, man. Like telling them to change a script, like because think about scripts, like if you change one thing, you gotta change pretty much the whole thing, like because it's building blocks. It's like Legos, you know what I'm saying? So you can't just take a piece out and then put another piece in. You can't just do it all willy-nilly. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like a piece of you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%. And you know what? I got that on the flip side too, being on Tubi. People was like, you know, like you need to put more sex scenes in, and like we need more men with the shirts off. And I was like, that's not what the story calls for, right? Like I understand that this is what y'all are used to, like seeing on Tubi, but we got 21 million views without that, right? So like, why do I have to do that? You know what I mean? So like, you really, really, really have to, despite the pressure that people try to put on you, you have to stand firm and like confident in your story, you know, and knowing that like this came from me. So like nobody knows better than me to make the right decisions, because people will come in and like honestly people will want you to do what they want you to do. People will say like what they want to see, but I know for me like 21 million people you know thought it was great, and so like I don't need to change it for you random person.
Exactly.
Man, that's so inspirational, man.
Exactly.
So
wow, I'm saying I'm not even a filmmaker, but I'm like getting everything, because I think it comes back down to like your purpose and like staying motivated through that valley. Like that's where a lot of people quit. That's where a lot of people
100%.
quit.
In the middle.
Right in the middle. Like, that middle.
You actually got to do the work.
Yeah, you just got to keep going.
It's nice to know that you persevered, and I'm happy you did, man. I'm sure those 21 million.
I'm sure they agree. I'm sure they agree. Kaya, did you have a question?
Now, you said that you have a, what is it, a production company that you
Yes.
Okay, so how long ago did you start that?
So I essentially started it straight after college.
Okay.
I've only like really been like have my LLC and things for like 3 years, but like I've been doing this for 10 years.
Okay.
You know, and so like in that inception, as soon as I started making my own films, like I established my own production company because I wanted it to be clear that like this is all coming from me. Like this is under me, you know, like this is under me. This is under my company. There's no other hands and no other influence. And if you want some hands and some influence, give me some money.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was just about to ask that, like, you know, when you say you got a production company and everything comes from you, like, when I think of production companies, I think of, like, oh, let's say I got a script and I'm shopping it around. Like, I would shop around with you. Like, hey, you trying to make this movie?
Right.
So, like, what would that process look like for me, right? If I wanted that, because I'm trying to get a movie made, you know what I'm saying? I'm always trying to get a movie made. That's really my whole brand at this point. So, like, if I got a script, it's ready to shoot, you know what I'm saying? Let's say it's a good story, you messing with it. Like, what would that look like for me and you? You know what I'm saying?
So, essentially, I actually just had a few meetings like this because I am trying to get more into producing other people's content because I really want to, like, contribute to other people. You know, like, I've been producing my own stuff because, for me, like, it's easier. You know, I know the process, but I do want to support other filmmakers. So essentially, all you have to do is go on my website and set up a meeting. And depending on what it is that you're looking for, right? Like, are you looking for producing? Are you just looking for a consultation? Like, just make that clear as to what it is that you want, because you might not like my style of producing or whatever, but you might want to do it yourself, you know. And I also do consulting, and I also do mentoring. I do a lot of mentorships. I've mentored a ton of people on the entire process because people are tired of waiting. You know, people are tired of waiting, and these stories do not shut up. Like, they don't stop bothering you. You know what I mean? Just 'cause if you don't have the money, the resources, the funds, or whatever, the story still wants to be told. You know, and that's the hard part, is not having the resources, not having the community, not having the just not having. These stories still want to be told.
Exactly. They need to be told.
Yes.
They need to be told. They need to be told. Especially like I just saw, I've been talking about Sinners all day.
For 2 weeks now, we've been talking about it.
Oh, I loved it.
But the most beautiful part about Sinners is that it's not necessarily like reinventing the wheel for real. You know what I'm saying? It's really just telling a solid Black story. You know what I'm saying? And it made millions. It made, like, it's doing so well, and at the end of the day, it's just a Black story. You know, so that gave me a lot of fire to just, you know, tell the story, like, in any means, in any way possible. You know what I'm saying? So I'm inspired, man. This episode has definitely inspired me. I've definitely got to get back into writing.
You got
it. Literally, you got to do something. Because Makaya's an actress.
So if you ever need like someone to tell stories,
I love that. You know what? It's actually really hard to find Black actors in Chicago.
Really?
Yeah, it is. Why? It is. I would say when I'm casting, let's just say I'm casting, like I cast this one female role that was specifically a Black female lead, and I think I got like 120 submissions for white women versus like 30 for Black women.
Oh, wow.
And so that's like 150 people, you know, for this one role, and there were only 30. And so like that's what I say when it's hard. Like, people are like applying and things like that, but there's just a bigger pool. And also, like, other ethnicities and other cultures are still going out for those roles, you know. You'll put like specifically African American.
They don't care.
They're
like, you know, maybe they'll make it.
Right.
They do not care.
Wow.
Exactly. Exactly.
No, that's fine. So I don't know. I never really thought about it like that because, you know I'm kind of naive, I guess, when it comes to filmmaking. But when it comes to casting for me, I don't know. I'll go to Instagram, man. Go to my go-tos, man.
Like, hey, film.
Post it on IG. Somebody down.
Right.
Somebody down. But no, I can see that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's definitely. We definitely building. We're still building in Chicago. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like Chicago can be such a big place for film, bro. Like it really can be the next Hollywood, especially with things like XL Fest. Like
yes,
I love XL Fest. Yeah. I was there last year.
Yes, it was a great room to be in last year for sure. True Star sent us, so we all got like passes.
Oh, I love it. It was sold out by the time I got to it. I was like,
yeah, you definitely got to be there this year for sure.
Yeah, XL Fest is definitely where it's at. But, you know, I definitely feel that, man. Definitely, it makes me want to get up and make a movie right now. You know what I'm saying? Me and Micaiah need to start.
Yeah. Right. Y'all need to start working. Look, this is a whole
yeah. Because, Sully, I don't even think you know this. Me and Micaiah, like, made a movie together. Like,
really?
Yeah, like, we made a movie together right after I made my movie. You know what I'm saying?
We go way back.
Right.
Yeah, we go way back. So,
what's this film? What is this film?
It's a little bit about me. You know? Okay, so 20. I was 18. I don't know what year is that. It's been a minute. 2023, 2022, something like that.
I think it was 2022. Yeah.
So I was making a movie with True Star and flipped the script. It was about two co-workers trying to escape their building while being chased by a teleporting monster. Right? That's me. You know I didn't go to. They wanted to go to the film festival circuit. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't do that. I ended up just using it to get into college. I got a full ride to Columbia. You know what I'm saying? So it's interesting. You go to the Art Institute, because I went to Columbia and I really only applied to those two schools. Like I applied to the Art Institute and Columbia. So, but that's not the point. So I made that movie, and then right after that movie, me and Micaiah wanted to work. Micaiah hit me up. She was like, "Oh yeah, I could use your help writing this movie." You know what I'm saying? She ended up writing it. Amazing herself. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Actress and writer. Love your life.
And then I came through it and kind of just directed it. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like, you know what I'm saying? She put the camera right there type stuff. You know what I'm saying? It was really cool.
It was fun.
Like, we should do it again,
exactly. Like,
I love that. Yes.
Like these great cameras.
Yes. And it's really about getting those reps in too. Like y'all have that practice. You can say you got 2 movies under your belt. So I want to ask you, like, just to close it out, what would you say your like aspirations are as far as like the mark that you want to make, not only on the Chicago film scene but worldwide? Like if you go to the top of your career, what would you see yourself doing?
I would say I could see myself helping other indie filmmakers. That's my biggest thing, is kind of like uplifting these voices, because listen, you already know,
right?
Look,
connection made, y'all see. 2025.
Yes, and you know these stories do not leave you alone.
They don't.
And I will say some of the most heartbreaking moments for me in film is when I like really wanted to tell a story and I did not have the resources to do it. And that was so heartbreaking to me, because it was like it's not like I didn't have like the talent or the skill or the time. It was like I really don't have like the money or I don't have the community or something like that. And so I really want to provide that to other filmmakers, because I don't want us to not be creating because of money. Like, I don't want that to be a barrier.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's something we can get, like talent, skill. Like you got to like do a little bit more work.
Yeah.
But like,
absolutely.
When it comes to like the money or like the funding part of it, like that shouldn't stop great stories from being told. And so that's really what I want to do. I really want the indie population, and you know, like a lot of people, Tubi is controversial, but thank God for Tubi, you know, in the sense of like they are giving like voices and like really allowing us to have this like mainstream platform for these, you know what I mean, for these voices, and like people are really like
they're watching.
Like Tubi is not one of these.
They don't play with Tubi.
Don't play with
Exactly.
They do have a bad rep for Tubi.
No, but in our culture though, we know what's up with the Tubi.
Exactly.
It's a start too.
Yeah, it is a start. It's a start.
I can't wait to stake my claim to Tubi. I'm going.
You got to
own it.
Exactly.
And own it.
That's amazing. So in the spirit of this filmmaking conversation, We're gonna play a game. It's a storytelling game.
I forgot about the game. Oh my gosh. I'm thinking I was closing it out. Okay, here we go. These games usually kind of go either or, so I'm a little scared, Shaquille. But
I'm prepared this week. You know what I'm saying? Last 2 weeks I was a little funky, but this week I'm good.
Funky.
This week I'm good. All right, so it's a storytelling game. All right, so how it's gonna go? I'm gonna start. And then I'm going to say like a sentence or two max, right? Just starting it off, and we're going to go in a circle, and we're going to build on it, right?
Okay.
We're going to build on it, and the goal is to tell a complete story by the end.
Okay.
Right? We can go 2 times. And at the end of those 2 times, we going to have a story. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Now, Sully, Micaiah, you know, Sully, the story needs to have a beginning, middle, and end, right? So just I'm going to start it off with the beginning. So just think about how it ends and how we can get to the ending. You know what I'm saying? It's all about the journey. You know what I mean? So we're gonna do some story building practice today. All right, y'all ready?
Okay.
Y'all good?
Sure.
I bet. Sully,
Sure, I'm ready.
Sully not into it. All right, so boom. Once upon a time, there was a dude in Inglewood. Go.
He would ride his skateboard every day.
Okay.
And he rode the 63rd Street bus to and from school.
Okay. All right.
One day he got to school and
he was riding the skateboard in the hallway when his principal told him not to. We got y'all.
Okay.
They I think they do.
He then got suspended and took his skateboard to the corner store.
Oh.
okay.
Wait, who took his?
This is 63rd.
He took it. Right.
This is Inglewood.
Very much possible.
He went to the corner store.
Okay, he went to the corner store.
Yep, he went to the corner store.
And he saw a crackhead outside who asked him, "What you doing, young man?"
Sully, I knew you had it in you. Go ahead. We're gonna keep it going until we get to an end.
Okay. And so he said, I just bought me a chips and pop, and the crackhead said, but I asked you for some money, and you didn't give it to me. So he snatches the skateboard and gets up out of there.
Okay. The dude from Inglewood.
All right, Inglewood.
Dude from Inglewood shows the crackhead, takes the skateboard back, rides home, and tells his mom what happens. That was kind of bad.
I like that.
Okay. After he told his mom what happened, he then decided to go in his room and play his video game.
Okay.
Oh, I see it.
Then his mama bust in his room and said, "Boy, why is your room not clean?"
Okay.
And then he says, Mom, I'm going to do it later. He picks up the skateboard and he gets up out of there.
Oh.
Okay?
He getting up out of there.
Okay. And then to wrap it up, he gets up out of there, goes back to the corner store, tells the crackhead, "Come with me," makes him clean up his room. The end.
Oh, I like that. Now I would produce that. Yes.
Maybe I'll make it to the resume.
Yes.
Great job, Gary. Great job.
Today, man.
We love it. This was an amazing interview. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. I'm so excited for you guys. I think you guys are like so amazing. I love what you guys are doing and what True Star has become now. Like really showcasing not only our written personalities, but like our personality, you know, our culture and like what Chicago really is about. So I love this. Congratulations.
I'm
proud of you.
Number one podcast in Chicago.
Number one youth podcast. Yes.
Go ahead. So with that, this wraps us up, man. I'm going to see y'all boys later. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Links are in the description, man. Send us a confession. Send us some money.
Right. Donation link.
Donations accepted.
And comment on what you think we should talk about, man. I'm going to see y'all boys later, man. Tell the story. I love y'all. Be better people.
Love y'all. See y'all soon.
Bye.